Hello everyone and welcome back to Dusty Tunes. It's Destiny here. So most people are probably familiar with the Powerpuff Girls trio and maybe even Bliss. But what if I told you that there was a fifth Powerpuff Girl? And not only was there a fifth Powerpuff Girl, she is also the first Powerpuff Girl to ever die. In this video, we're going to be talking about Bunny's creations, my thought on the character, and her unfortunate demise. So without further ado, let's get into the episode of the Powerpuff Girls titled Twisted Sister. So this episode starts off pretty much like every other Powerpuff Girl episode, with the girls fighting bad guys and saving the day. But as the episode progresses, we start to see that even though the sisters are taking down criminal after criminal, there's just too much work for the three of them to handle alone. Like, I have no idea what's actually going on in the city of Townsville, because why is everything always crashing and burning there? Like, literally full on fires, giant monsters. But anyway, the thing that makes all of this even worse though is the fact that even after the Powerpuff Girls spend all day taking care of the riffraff around the city, they come home and they're expected to complete a long list of chores. Like, what is a professor even doing all day? Because why are the Powerpuff Girls expected to fix the roof? So unsurprisingly, the Powerpuff Girls are completely exhausted and fed up by this point. So they all collectively think of a solution to the crazy amount of work they have, and that is to recreate the recipe that the professor used in making them, in order to produce an extra set of hands, of course. Now, we all know the ingredients used to make the classic Powerpuff Girls. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. These are the ingredients to create the perfect little girl, with the addition of Chemical X, of course. But when we see the sisters creating their own Powerpuff Girl, the ingredients used are completely off from the original recipe. They are seen using artificial sweetener, things like lizards, books, an entire computer, and even a knuckle sandwich to create their new sister. Now, you guys might be thinking that I'm doing way too much when it comes to my take on Bunny as a character, but this is just my opinion at the end of the day. So formulate your own opinion, take my opinion with a grain of salt. It's okay for us to think the same things or to not think the same things. But with the ingredients used to make Bunny, it was very obvious that she wasn't going to come out exactly like the original Powerpuff Girls. But I feel as if the way that they presented Bunny to us, the viewers, was done in such an unnecessary and negative way. The thing is, there have been countless characters like Bunny that are designed to be extremely unattractive and written to seem developmentally delayed, and both of these things are meant to be comedic. Personally, I don't find it to be funny. Something that I've noticed is that people around my age use the time period in which we grew up as a defense against being terrible people. And unfortunately, it's things like this that make people comfortable with being a bully towards people who are quote unquote different. Like, I understand that the message behind this episode was kinda don't judge a book by its cover, and I mean this very loosely. But it doesn't change the fact that a good chunk of this episode does hyperfixate on Bunny being painted as incompetent and literally went out of its way to highlight her physical imperfections. Like, we have to remember that the Powerpuff Girls themselves were also mistakes that ended up being a lifesaver though. They just so happened to be the perfect makeup. But unfortunately for Bunny, the mixture of her terrible makeup combined with sending her out into the world without proper guidance led her to navigate situations, making mistakes unknowingly. The fact that the narrator, as well as the Powerpuff Girls, ridiculed Bunny for making a mistake, even though she had the right intentions, was really sad and frustrating to see, especially saying that she wasn't a true Powerpuff Girl or referring to her as a monster. Obviously, after being dogpiled by negativity, Bunny ends up running away, where we see her crying to herself as the Powerpuff Girls end up getting pummeled by criminals. again, I don't really understand why this is happening or how it's happening, because earlier in the episode, we literally saw them shrink an entire meteor into like a little pebble, but I guess it's for the plot. But the fact that Bunny comes back to help the Powerpuff Girls and the city, even after all of the terrible things they had to say about her, proves that Bunny was true of heart the entire time. And again, all due to the lack of guidance and understanding, these are the things that led her to mess up in the beginning. Personally, I wouldn't have gone back, but I'm not as kind and as forgiving as Bunny is. The annoying part of this entire episode is the Powerpuff Girls' realization that Bunny is the one who rescued them, and it isn't until the moment, paired with realizing that she passes away, that they come to the conclusion that they were in the wrong and Bunny wasn't the monster in this situation. And honestly, I didn't even understand why the narrator is like crying at the end of this episode when he was also speaking so negatively about Bunny and the way he was talking after she was revealed. Like, I don't know. I just hate it when people switch up on someone after they die, but again, maybe that's just me being petty. But when Bunny ends up exploding due to the horrible combinations of the ingredients that she's made out of, it made me realize that she was bullied, saved the day, and then died without receiving a single apology or thank you for being an actual hero. I feel like going in this direction definitely does lead the Powerpuff Girls to sit with their actions longer and harder, but it's still really sad for Bunny considering the fact that she never really got to have that true Powerpuff Girl experience with her sisters by her side. Bunny exploding and dying also leaves me with my own set of questions, like whether or not this could also happen to the Powerpuff Girls someday. I know that they aren't made of the same things that Bunny was made out of, but considering the fact that they aren't necessarily humans themselves, is there a possibility that they could also end up exploding if they were to interact with the wrong sort of thing? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know how these things work, but I just thought that it was interesting seeing like an actual Powerpuff Girl exploding and seeing that they are also powered by like an actual energy source and not necessarily human organs. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this episode in more depth because it's something that I've talked about on my TikTok page before, and people really loved that video, and I feel as if I didn't really get to like get into the video and talk about the episode the way that I wanted to. But it also made me realize that there are a lot of people out there that either forgot or just didn't know that Bunny ever existed. There is another Powerpuff Girl named Bliss, and a lot of the times when people bring up the forgotten Powerpuff Girl, people assume that it's Bliss that people are talking about, but no. We're talking about the unfortunate short-term existence of Bunny, the Powerpuff Girl who was never treated like one. But what do you guys think? Would you consider Bunny to be an actual Powerpuff Girl, seeing as she was only alive for a day? Personally, whether it was a day, a week, a month, or a year, I still consider Bunny to be one of the Powerpuff Girls. She just had an unfortunate short-term life, quick demise, whatever you want to call it, but I definitely do still consider her to be a Powerpuff Girl. I really think that they could have done so much with this episode, honestly. It would have been really cool to see them make this an actual, like, maybe 30-minute or 1-hour special or something like that, where there's more build up to Bunny's demise, where we get to see more of the feelings that the Powerpuff Girls have towards Bunny's sacrifice, her coming back to help them, her ultimate, demise, and things like that. It would have been interesting to see the aftermath, but to also see like a potential situation where Bunny does get to fight beside her sisters and the town apologizes and things like that. Unfortunately, we will never get that. We just get this episode where we see the Powerpuff Girls, the narrator, just treating Bunny really poorly due to the way that she looks, the way that she acts, the way that she misunderstands, because it isn't normal, quote unquote normal, it isn't usual and things like that. This episode I don't know, it gets me in my feelings because I I feel maternal towards Bunny. She's adorable. I just feel like she's misunderstood by the people in her own show, and I'm really hoping that there are people who watched this episode who feel the same way that I do about the way that Bunny was treated and the way that these sort of characters are created and presented in animation. And don't get me wrong, there are also characters like this that exist in real live action shows as well. The characters that are meant to be unattractive, to seem like they aren't developmentally like with the rest of their peers and things like that in the name of comedy. And it's like, whoa, why are we using characters like this? Why are we using people like this as the butt of the joke? It just doesn't seem right in my opinion. But I don't know, people might think that I'm looking way too much into it, and maybe that's the case, I don't know. With all that being said, this is the ending of the video. If you liked it, let me know that you did by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on notifications so you never miss a video in the future. Also, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of the support that I have been getting. Like, it feels so good. One of my videos is almost at 10,000 views, which is crazy to me. We have another that's at like 5,000 or 6,000, and another that just reached 2,000. So it's like, oh my gosh, you guys are literally showing out. And to everyone who's been subscribing, thank you. Even if you're someone who just watches these videos and you don't like interact with it in any other way, thank you for just coming over and actually watching the content. The content is mostly here so that we can engage in conversation about animation and the storytelling, the characters, just everything revolving around these shows that we grew up on, and other forms of animation, whether it be like anime or series on YouTube. It's just a way to connect the community of people who love animation together to have like calm and casual conversations about the animation that we like. So thank you guys so much for coming over and supporting me, and for engaging with me, and if not, for at least staying and watching these videos. So thank you again. With all that being said though, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.